students, welcome back to your English class. So I hope that you all are fine and safe at home. Today we will move forward. The poem which we will deal with today is The Gymnastic Clock by M.C. Davis. So let's read the poem. The Gymnastic Clock by M.C. Davis. The little clock is friends with me. It talks as plain can be, and says each morning as it rises, now don't forget your exercises. Both hands above your head, you know, then lower them very slowly so. Ho, don't get tired and stop that way. I exercise like this all day. Right in its face, then I say, oh, I wouldn't boast of it like you, but I can swing my arms round too. And so the clock then looks at me, and I look back, and I and he, each single morning when we rise, just exercise and exercise.
Now listen carefully. I'm going to explain the poem.
Now the little clock is friends with me. It talks as plain can be. So here the clock is friends with the poet, that is M.C. Davis, and it talks as plain can be. That is, it talks in a very simple language, and it wants to give some amount of advice to the poet. So the poet says, the little clock is my friend. So the little clock is his friend, and obviously a friend gives good guidance, right? So it talks very directly and in a very simple language so that the poet can understand it very clearly. It talks to the poet by telling the time. Obviously, what is the work of a clock? It is obvious that it tells us the time of a day. So every morning when the poet wakes up, the little clock, who is his friend, it tells him about the exercises and the importance of the exercises. That is, your day should start with a proper exercise so that the entire day can be very much good. So the clock says how the poet can do his exercises. So here let's read the lines of the poem. And says each morning as it rises, now don't forget your exercises. That is, you should not forget your exercises because it should be a mandatory factor in your life. Both hands above your head, you know. So now the clock is teaching the poet as to how to do the exercises. So the clock says both hands above your head and then lower them down slowly. So the clock shows him the proper posture, what he should do during an exercise. The clock here is teaching his friend how to do proper exercise and how to exercise regularly in a proper manner so that his health can be restored. Now, don't get tired and stop that way. So, now the clock says that you should not get tired by doing the exercises, and obviously when you will practice it every day, it will become a routine work for you. I exercise like this all day. Now, if you watch a clock or if you see a clock, what you will see, it has both hands. In fact, 3 hands. One is the hour, one is the minute, one is the second. So the clock shifts as the time runs by. So in a posture that it is doing its exercise the whole day. So if a clock can do his exercise or its exercise throughout the entire day, so the poet here, he can at least maintain a certain amount of time for his exercise. So that is what is told here. Okay. So I exercise like this all day, the clock is telling. Right in its face, then I say, pooh. I wouldn't boast of it like you. That is, you are just telling that you are doing exercise, but I am not boasting about it, whereas I do it for a much greater time than you. Now, but I can swing my arms round too. That is, I can swing my arms like you round. And so the clock then looks at me. The clock is obviously looking at me and I look back. So they are exchanging glances. And I and he, each single morning, that is every morning, when we rise, just exercise and exercise. So early morning, get up, do your regular exercise and then start your day. So that should be your first work of the morning, which the clock teaches the poet. Please go through the poem and the explanation very carefully so that you can understand the poem in a very clear manner. I hope I am clear with the explanation. So that's all for today, students. Be safe and bye-bye.